Hey, awaken. Ready for some spiritual manna? Welcome to the Good Info Cafe, where multiple intelligences meet each day. I'm Gay K. Today as it is in heaven, as it is in heaven, on earth as it is in heaven. All right, so I'm going to actually make a quick one. I got my notes. It's a privilege to speak to you on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And now it looks like, and I had done my first 3 months of the beta test where I did 90 videos, and then it's been 2 every week since then. I've stuck with it. And now it looks like it's going to be Sundays instead of Saturdays and Wednesdays. So I'll do today Saturday, and then coming Wednesday, and then the following Sunday is what it looks like will be the new way, Sundays and Wednesdays. And here's the menu for today at the Good Info Cafe. Let's see what I can get to and say. So picking up George, that was it, very wild. And then feeling the spirit of task force. And good or bad, there's less gray, so that's real important information I want to pass on. And then the greats in history, like John McDuff, John L. often talks about heroes. Where are the heroes? And we want some heroes. And so that's a subject I'm going to talk about. And then also, where's Rebecca Ann? Rebecca Ann, I haven't seen you in a while in the comments. Please let me know if you're still out there, because you were a big part of the Good Info Cafe, and I haven't heard from you in a while. And Sean, the whiteboard, I will get that back. It's just that all the changes with the move, so we'll get that going. And then the question of the day is a sad one, but we're coming up on, in August will be a year that task force passed. And the question is, what do you think? Do you think she died of natural causes or not? And I was there when George was calling the hotel to have the desk clerk go and check on her, see if she's okay. It was horrible. I even texted before we found out saying, task force, where are you? We're here. So then the police called me because I was the last one to text her. And then I said, oh, here. And I gave the phone to George, and the police talked to him. And it was just a horrible thing. Miss her so much. And so a special thing at the end for her, to honor her. And then the question of the day is, this guy Lieberman, I don't have his first name, it's not Joe Lieberman, but Lieberman from Israel just recently opposed or did something that's going to cause Israel and the people of Israel, the politics, the theater of politics that just wastes people's time. He did a vengeance move, so his grade is going to be an F. And the priority is what happens in Jerusalem and Israel affects the world. So it's a big priority what he's doing. And biblical Zion is good. Biblical Zion, good. Talk about Zion, anti-Zion, all these kind of things. Biblical Zion is a good thing. So let me first go with the good or bad. I believe that an important thing that you can do, the listener, is decide where you're at on all issues, as many issues as you can. And yes, there's going to be things where you won't know, so stay neutral. But you're going to be, the more you can decide on things, where you stand on things, the better off you'll be if you're going towards the good side, because there's going to be less and less gray area. That's what I believe the time is, and you can see it's already happening. So, but that's leading to something. All right, so the greats in history. So, and I talked to Brent about this. I want to start thinking about greats in history, and I'll start with biblical greats, but it can come outside of that. But, for example, Moses and King David, or Mary, mother of Jesus, Ruth, who was very faithful to God, even though she was a Moabite. wasn't born Jewish, but followed the God of Abraham, and then a special one at the end. So so yes, deciding on who are the good guys and who are the bad guys, very important. Here's why I'm so glad I remembered, because the tactics are very similar and same in a lot of ways. For if you're researching, Hitler did research. Anyone who's doing something bad and nefarious does lots of research and then just uses that against people. So tactics are 90% the same on both sides. So that's why you get to decide where you are, what's the good side, what's the bad side. So, but hearing George again today and Carter Page on Hannity, just kind of coming out and admitting things that George said years ago. I don't know. And George talked about how we did songs a year ago about Carter Page going to meet at Halper's Farm. So I got to develop the Bob Dylan's Maggie's Farm and Paul McCartney and Wings Jr.'s farm. I think that was with Wings. Maybe it was his solo. So I'll do that, and then I'll get to the Moses and King David, etc. at the end, and you guys can play along. So maybe that could also be a question of the day. That was a sad question of the day, but it could be, who do you think biblical characters who are similar to those characters today? So actually, I'll do a quick one. I say that Alex Jones has a Peter-like, the Apostle Peter-like personality, except for he grew up knowing who Jesus was, and that's the difference between the Peter then and Alex Jones having a Peter-like personality. He's ready, and he's controlled himself. He has coffee thrown on him, and he didn't retaliate like the Apostle Peter probably would have, because he knows Christ. He knows he's supposed to love his enemies, but you can see his personality just fighting for that. So that's one example. And I said that, I've thought of that for about a year and a half about his personality. I said that on George's videos last summer. But I ain't gonna meet at Halper's Farm no more. That's Carter Page. No, I ain't gonna meet at Halper's Farm no more. Well, I wake up in the morning, fold my hands and pray for rain. I got a head full of ideas, they're driving me insane. I mean, that's it. Carter Page got a head full of ideas driving him insane. He's got to be going crazy right now. And just remember, he always showed up with that smile because he knew there was more going on. It's a shame that the way he makes me scrub the truth. I ain't gonna meet at Halper's Farm no more. And then let's go down to Halper's Farm where I want to lay low. I don't know if you can lay low there anymore. And then really my song "Love Your Enemies" is very relevant and timely. Unite the fight, calling all sinners. Oh yeah, so I don't know how much I'll do because I gotta move on. So I'll do that in the next one. So here we go. I have my nominating for Moses and King David, and I already told you. I think the Apostle Peter-like personalities, Alex Jones for this end times, and Joan of Arc. So who's Joan of Arc? Task Force. Task Force is the Joan of Arc of this time. And Moses, I nominate John O'Loughlin because of the law, and he's John's a trained lawyer, and he's a Moses character. And then King David with a twist. We have King David in the body of Goliath. And who's that? Who's King David-like personality? I nominate somebody who's in a Goliath-like body. So we get King David and Goliath, but the good side of King David in the size of Goliath. Who could that be? That could be the question for today. And I'm hearing some noise out there. Is that someone cutting the lawn or something, or doing... Anyway, and the architect, that's a friend or somebody I knew a long time ago. My wife took care of his kids, the GTM architects. All right, I think that's it. So far, I think that's it. Shofar. I think that's it. Goodbye, almost. Except for I want to mention that I was just on my way to Easton, Maryland. That I texted George early in the morning, like at 7 in the morning. He's like, "Hey, come on by I'll give you breakfast, and then you can give me a ride." So I gave him a ride and dropped him off, and then he took that canoe ride. So that was hilarious. I felt that there was a God. That God is with us, and I felt the spirit of Jenny with us on that. So, here we go for Brent. Well, can I do the longer? Are we in the end of an age?